How would you like to improve your relationships? I have some questions for you. Do you have a friend who will never ask you for any help? They can always do everything all by themselves, and there's always some space between you, but you're friends, but there's always some space there. Or do you have a friend that they're friends with you, but they're always really like nervous, and they have a hard time trusting you, and you feel like they're always second guessing you, and it's a little uncomfortable? Or do you have a friend where, they're just there all the time, and they need you all the time, and they reach out for help all the time, and then all of a sudden they disappear, and then they don't answer your texts, and they won't answer the phone? Or maybe even they contact you and say, hey, we can't be friends anymore. And they just drop you like that. Or are you one of those people? In any three of those different explanations, or I'll call them a category. Well, what I want to talk to you today about is something that is called attachment styles. And it's something that is formed inside of us during childhood that we're completely unaware of. And when we grow up, unless we learn about it, we have no idea that this is happening, and this is how we are carrying on inside of our relationships. Because attachment styles are how we connect with our other human beings. And that first one about they'll never ask for help, and they always have some space between you, that's called avoidant. And that's because they grew up, or if this is you may have grown up with when you sought for comfort or help from your mom or dad or caregiver, whatever your family situation happened to be, that you got in trouble. Take care of it yourself. Leave me alone. Don't bother me. And the other one, the second one, is called anxious or ambivalent. And that's when a child looks for help from their caregiver, their mom, their dad, or whoever's supposed to be taking care of them, and their help is just not available. And so they're left to themselves. They got to take care of themselves, and it freaks them out. And so they have this underlying fear all the time when it comes to relationships. And then that third one is the one I want to talk about a little bit more, because it's the one that I could relate to. And I am so thankful that you don't have to know these terms to be able to do something about them, because I healed of this and started healing of this long before I knew there was such a thing as an attachment style. But learning about them helps us to understand and give ourselves more grace. And this third kind is called disorganized, or anxious avoidant, or fearful avoidant. And this this happens in a child when they go for help or comfort from their caregiver or their mom or dad or whoever it happens to be. And sometimes they get in trouble, and sometimes they get comforted, and sometimes this and sometimes that. And so they never know what's going to happen whenever they reach out. And so that just screws them up inside, and they have confusion when it comes to being attached to someone. Am I close? Am I not close? Are they going to help me? Are they not going to help me? I don't know. Am I going to get in trouble? Ugh. I could relate to this. And when I was reading and studying and doing my research on this, I remembered as a child, I still don't like thunderstorms. I was terrified of thunderstorms as a child. They would freak me out so bad. And I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and I was terrified to wake up my parents. And so instead of waking them up, because I was afraid of getting in trouble, because that had happened before, you don't wake them up in the middle of the night. You're supposed to be asleep and go back to bed. I laid on the floor, and I slept on the floor next to them. And so I don't know, can you relate to this in your life? Or do you have a friend who fits in one of these categories? And there's a couple things I want to tell you about this. Your friend or you, whoever you know, falls into any one of these, there's hope. You can heal from these things. And it starts by recognizing that, hey, that's something in my attachment, my way of knowing how to relate to other people, and I can learn a new way to relate. It's not your personality. You're not stuck that way forever. You can heal and you can grow and you can get along with people better and learn how to trust and learn how to do things that you never learned how to do before. And so I wanted to share about that, specifically that third one, the disorganized one, because I see it all over the place. And statistics say that 20 to 40% of the population suffers from this. And 80% of those people who suffer from this, it is from childhood emotional trauma. And so knowing some answers to begin with can help us to say, hey, yeah, I have this. And so I encourage you, because I love you, I'm that lady on the internet who loves you. If you find these in your life, to do something to start to heal. Reach out to me. I have various things. Call for a counselor if you feel like that's the way to go. I never push anyone when I'm talking to you here, because I love you, of how for you to get help. Of course, I would love to help you, but I can't help everyone. I'm not a good fit for everyone. No one is a good fit for everyone because we're all different. And I just want to encourage you to get help and reach out for help and heal your attachment style so you can have a secure attachment style, so you can build trust in your relationships and get rid of the fear in your relationships and get rid of the wrong amount of self-dependency, because everybody needs help sometime. That's called counterdependence, when we refuse to ask for help, expecting ourselves to be 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Nobody is. It's not possible. And these are all wrong thinking things, and it gets kind of complex, but it goes down into what's going on in your soul from when you were a child. Something, as my counselor said to me, something went terribly wrong. And I loved how she put that, because it's not technical. It doesn't sound scientific. It doesn't have all these little labels on it, because sometimes I think we get lost in all that scientific terminology stuff. And we just need to know something went terribly wrong, but that doesn't mean we have to stay there. We can heal. You can go from survive to thrive. You have survived. You are here today. And if your relationships are a mess because maybe you have a relationship with people with these kind of attachment styles, or you have one of them, but you don't have to stay there. You can heal, and if you have a friend with them, you can encourage them to heal, and you can be there for them, understanding why they behave this way. There's a reason. And when we know there's a reason, we're so much more apt to give grace and encouragement and help others because we understand. And so I'm Danielle Burnock from DanielleBurnock.com. Love yourself from Survive to Thrive. That lady on the internet who loves you. Reach out for help. Reach for me, reach for someone else, but get help, because you deserve to thrive in life, because you matter. Until next time, I love you.